Hello students, we are going to discuss Chapter 10 Respiration in Organisms. All living things respire. Respiration is a process that includes breathing. The movement of air in and out of the body and vice versa is known as breathing. For example, animals such as earthworms breathe through their skin. Fishes use gills for breathing, and plant exchanges gases through tiny pores called stomata, which are present mainly on the surface of leaves. So there are variety of animals and plants on our earth, but they all require air for their survival. So all the animals and plants respire in a different way. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. How is the energy stored in food released to be used by the body? You know that during the process of breathing, we take in air. Oxygen is taken in while carbon dioxide is released out of the body during breathing. Oxygen is then circulated to all cells of the body. Food is broken down in the cells with the help of oxygen. The process in which food is broken down in the cells to release energy is known as cellular respiration. Two types of respiration takes place in the cells. One occurs in the presence of oxygen while the other occurs in the absence of it. The process of breakdown of food in the presence of oxygen is known as aerobic respiration. It takes place in all organisms and leads to the production of carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Glucose gives out carbon dioxide plus water plus energy in the presence of oxygen. Food is also broken down in the absence of oxygen. This process is known as anaerobic respiration. It occurs in organisms such as yeast. This process leads to the production of alcohol and carbon dioxide. Glucose gives out alcohol or lactic acid plus energy plus carbon dioxide without oxygen. Difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. It occurs in the presence of O2. Anaerobic respiration. It occurs in the absence of O2. It involves the exchange of gases between an organisms and outside environment, whereas in anaerobic respiration, exchange of gases is absent. In aerobic respiration, it occurs in the cytoplasm and mitochondria, and anaerobic respiration occurs only in the cytoplasm. Aerobic respiration always releases CO2 and H2O, that is carbon dioxide and water. Anaerobic respiration end products may vary. Aerobic respiration yields 36 ATP. Anaerobic respiration yields 2 ATP. The examples of aerobic respiration are cells in our body. An example of anaerobic respiration are yeast and muscle cells. Adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP, is the universal unit of energy used in all living cells. It is the very basic molecule which meets our energy needs and is formed in the latest steps of glucose oxidation. Yeast performs a process of anaerobic respiration which leads to the production of alcohol by incomplete breakdown of sugar. It is for this reason that yeast is used in the production of wine and beer. The anaerobic conversion of sugar to the carbon dioxide conversion of sugar to the carbon dioxide and alcohol by yeast is called fermentation. Yeast are eukaryotic microorganisms classified in the kingdom fungi with 1,500 species currently described, estimated to be 1% of all fungal species. Yeast are unicellular, although some species with yeast forms may become multicellular through the formation of strings of connected budding cells known as pseudohyphae, or false hyphae. As seen in most molds, yeast size can vary greatly depending on the species, typically measuring 3 to 4 micrometer in diameter, although some yeast can reach over 40 micrometer. Most yeast reproduce asexually by mitosis, and many do so by an asymmetric division process called budding. The number of times a person inhales and exhales or breathes in 1 minute is known as the breathing rate. Now, the parts of the human respiratory system. Process of breathing in human beings. The process of breathing involves taking in oxygen-rich air and giving out carbon dioxide-rich air. This entire process occurs because of the action of various organs of the respiratory system. We all know that we take in air through our nostrils, and when we breathe in, air passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. Air then reaches the lungs, which are located in the chest cavity. The actual mechanism of breathing involves the movement of the rib cage and the diaphragm, which are located around and at the base of the chest cavity respectively. The breathing involves two processes, inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves down and the ribs move upwards and outwards, thereby increasing the space in the chest cavity. This leads to the movement of air inside the lungs. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves to its former position and the ribs move downwards and inwards, thereby reducing the size of the chest cavity. This leads to the movement of air out of the lungs. Respiration in amoeba. Amoeba respires by the process of diffusion through its body surface. Respiration in land animals. Organisms such as elephants, lions, cows, frogs, and birds have lungs like that in human beings. How do organisms such as cockroaches and earthworms breathe? Do they have breathing organs like that in humans, or do they have other structure of breathing? A cockroach has small openings on the lateral sides of its body. These openings are called spiracles. Oxygen-rich air enters its body through the spiracles. The spiracles are connected to a network of tubes and called trachea, which are present all over its body. The oxygen then enters the trachea from where it diffuses into the cells of the body. However, the movement of carbon dioxide follows the reverse path wherein the carbon dioxide in the cells of the body first enters the trachea and then leaves the body through the spiracles. Blood of cockroach, known as hemolymph, is involved in exchange of gases between cells. In earthworm, respiration occurs through the surface of their skin. The skin of an earthworm is moist and slimy. Gases directly diffuse into its tissue through the skin. Do you think plants also respire like other organisms? How do plants take in oxygen? Just like all other living organisms, plants too respire. They respire through the tiny pores on the surface of their leaves called stomata. Oxygen enters the plant while carbon dioxide leaves the plant through these pores. The roots of plant also respire. They do so by taking in oxygen from the air spaces present in the soil by the process of diffusion. Oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide moves out with the help of diffusion only. This type of gaseous exchange takes place in the younger roots only and not in the older roots. In the older roots, the exchange of gases occurs by lenticels. The lenticels are thin, ball, loosely arranged cells with intercellular spaces present for gaseous exchange. The parts of oxygen that is produced by the plant in photosynthesis is utilized by the plant for breathing, and rest of the oxygen is given out by plants through stomata, which we use for breathing.